Go now.
Yes.
Sorry, I was waiting for you to say 3 or 2. Okay. I don't care if Mariah Carey is wishing for you only for Christmas, man. I really fucked it up. But you're now listening to Black and the Black Times Infinity. I am your hostess with the mostest, your boy Blue, and coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, fam, with some good ass dank shit. On my far left, I have Old Ninja.
So I guess we're officially in Mariah Carey season. Is that what's happening? Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing now? Apparently. I'm just saying.
And mixing up on the ones and twos, we have Kronus.
Sober October is over, gentlemen. I'm just saying.
Oh no, it's.
I'm gonna. No, there's no November. So this beer that I'm gonna drink, I was actually saving this beer. So this is Founders. CBS. And so somebody's a black brew guy that likes a lot of good beer. They're probably like, why the fuck are you drinking this shit? You know, Founders is super racist. Yes, you're right. They were super racist at one point in time. I didn't know. I bought this previous to that, and I was saving this for a special occasion. And they already got my money. So I was saving for a special occasion. This isn't it. I ended my sobriety a couple days ago. So I tried to do it. I'm going to open this beer up on a day that doesn't really matter. But I'm still going to drink the beer because I fucking bought it. So me just pouring it out, they've already got my money. So, but yeah,
that's like I was gonna say that's like people who burned Kaepernick's jersey after they bought it.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Anyway, it's a barrel aged stout, and this is from 2018. So this is their final edition. This is why it has no person, no Mountie on the horse. So it was a very special beer. I'm still gonna enjoy it, but yeah. This is 3 years old. Shit tastes good. Fucking smells good.
I have like hella thoughts in my mind. One, you should have just made an NFT of it. Take a picture, made an NFT, and then
right. But
I don't know if it's coincidence that Sober October ended right when November started. I'm just saying.
No,
well, I don't think.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't think you can make an NFT off of it because it's a company's brand. So
yeah, and I don't really want to be associated with them because of what.
So, that makes sense.
Yeah, they've tried to make amends for what was done, and the crazy part is that people might want to say that it probably wasn't true, blah blah blah. Well, the guy that it happened to is actually in a private Facebook group that I'm a part of as well. So I tend to believe the guy. And after all this shit happened, yeah, he's got receipts. I believe he won a legal battle.
I was about to say, didn't he sue? He sued and won within a year, which is rare in California.
Yeah, well, it wasn't in California, it's Michigan.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And so there's a lot of shit and after that all this stuff happened, they had to hire a bunch of diversity, managers and shit like that, and they changed a bunch of policies. So obviously they acknowledged that they had a culture of racism, even though people might have said, oh, it's just like the supervisor or manager. No, because if you name the printer the N-word and literally nobody else except for the one black guy says that, hey, maybe not call the printer the N-word, then all of you are part of the same problem. So, yeah.
Yeah. He was the guy that went to management and they kind of ignored him and made fun of him or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then did he quit or did they fire him? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
I remember as soon as he kind of parted ways, he promptly sued them and won.
Yeah, so it's funny because Patrick is in the chat right now. He's one of the guys I actually met through the group that I'm talking about. And yeah, he said,
is he going off about it?
Their beer is good, but the shit they did was not good. So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when they dropped the beer, I think on eBay, like it was going for crazy numbers.
Fuck, it's really good.
I was trying to look it up right now to see what it's at, but I'm not finding shit on eBay.
Also, I'm drinking out of my Black is Beautiful glassware here from 17% drip. I'm just saying, nice. An extra fuck you to Founders.
Yeah, so we're kind of fucking up. We didn't do our normal.
Let's
shit.
Go around.
Yeah.
So, Kronus, you usually got some stats for us.
I do have statistics. I have the listener of the week would be Carter. Listened a few times. Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Wait, is that
Jay-Z?
Jay-Z Carter?
No.
Jigga.
And first in the chat would be my boy Patrick. Also, special shout out to him because he helped me out he was a guest on the season finale of Balance Exchange a couple weeks ago, and we talked about finance and capitalism. He did a really fantastic job. Him along with Double Tank, they were both on there. So yeah,
Nice,
great conversation. We're gonna have to do it again.
cool. All right, Odin usually has some dank ass information, some RIPs. Who we putting out some more liquor for?
Actually, I did not get a chance to record anyone. I didn't see anyone as late, but if anyone in the chat or perhaps listening within the next week, message us in case I miss someone. Just let us know, and then we'll get them. We'll get them next week. But thus far, I did not see someone of note that has passed away.
Also, nobody fucking died. Good move.
Yeah. I kind of want to take the wheel really quick and continue kind of a tangent of what Kronus was talking about with the beer. Did y'all see what was going on with Elijah Wood and an NFT, which I was talking about? He bought with Elijah Wood, he bought an NFT of an artist that apparently has had racist cartoons in the past. And we talked kind of about this last week about the old pornographic magazines. Well, this artist was heavily featured in the magazine Hustler. He would draw like a lot of the like racist cartoons in Hustler that were wildly popular. Even though the estate, let's see, what is his name? I have it here. State of which he bought it from, because I'm assuming it's implied that he's passed away. They are, denouncing the fathers or the elders like old racist work, but he has work that apparently has been turned into NFTs. The art in question is called the Golden Zombie. It's like a statue of a zombie. Looks like a person, but it's supposed to be a zombie bleeding from the nose. And I guess it's sold for a good amount. Where's this guy? George Trosley. George Trosley. So there's been people on Twitter drudging up a lot of the stuff he did back in the 80s. It's actually pretty fucked up shit. Like, one of them was like, they showed a KKK marriage where, the old tradition where you get in a car and you drive away with like the cans and stuff in the back. Well, they had the two KKK married couple driving away with two black males tied by the neck to the back of the car. And it's just married on the car. And there's a bunch of other stuff that he's done that's like that. So there's this big controversy. Even though Elijah Wood sold the NFT, he gave the money to charity. And he posted some, stuff about art versus, what the artist was worth. Kind of like what Prodigy talks about with Lovecraft. Like, he respects the work, but not the man type thing. So, y'all didn't hear anything about this?
No,
that's my first time hearing about it.
I don't actually. I don't look too much into the NFTs. It's the non-fungible something, right? Non-fungible things or something like that.
Yeah, I forgot what I said. I forgot the name, but
no fucking tracking.
But I mean, it's just weird to me because it's it's something that's digital. It's worth a shit ton of money, and people are trading it like it's Bitcoin or like it's a freaking bond.
Well, with
hold on. Let me get some of my geek cred back. It's non-fungible token, not thing.
There you go.
with what Mark Zuckerberg showed during the Facebook showcase, I guess you can use your NFT inside your virtual world and show off inside your virtual property. It's like, I don't know. I feel like he was mainly talking about, what was the name of that old school like chat room that you can be in? You can have like a fucking avatar.
AOL?
Not AOL. No. This one you can have like an animated like character, like actual avatar, and you're all like, everybody has an avatar. You're all chilling inside of a room, and you can customize that room for. I know you can put like artwork on the walls. No, this is a virtual. This is like early 2000s.
Oh, was it Second Life?
Yeah. Was it Second Life? I think so. Maybe it's Second Life.
Yeah, something like that. It was like Second Life or yeah, I think that's right. That was like the virtual meetup, and then it turned into like basically like a sex meetup thing. But you had virtual icons, so you can never see what the other person was or whatnot.
I don't remember. I don't know if it was Second Life or not. I'm trying to look at like old images because this Second Life's been updated
Yeah,
a
Second Life
bit.
started in 2003.
No, the Second Life maybe Second Life. No, Second Life it's more like human avatar. Like people have like weird shit.
Hmm.
All right,
Yeah, I
hold on.
don't
Like
remember.
my character was a pimp with a fucking vampire wing or with
Oh,
bat wings.
oh, you. Yes, no.
You broke up. What did you
Broke
say?
up.
Oh, you used to be on that. Sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hold on, real quick. That noise means that we just got a donation from Mile High Blurred. So thank you very much.
Oh
He super
shit.
chat and supported us, so we really appreciate it.
Didn't hear anything.
Thank you, my man.
They,
I was paid not to do the booty scooty anymore, so sorry.
Wow. But yeah, this whole thing about this weird NFT and is just weird.
yeah, just, I haven't put too much thought into NFTs or really even Bitcoin. And I should have. Like I understand how Bitcoin works, but NFTs not so much. So maybe I'll do some research on that. I did do some research on some goddamn SSDs though. I'll tell you that. So I'll talk about that if you want.
Yo, talk about it right now. Go ahead.
I gotta find my thing. Oh, here we go. So this is concerning the PS5 and the expandable storage. So yeah, I went and I was waiting to buy a new internal expansion SSD, which is an NVMe M.2 SSD drive, and I got a Western Digital. It's a pretty nice one. So I'm in the data storage world, so I understand probably how these work more than most people do, and what the numbers kind of mean. And this one right here, this is the SN850, and it has basically 7 gig reads, which is incredibly fast for a drive. And it does like up to 1 million IOPS, which is like insanely fast. But I doubt it. A million when they put down 1 million IOPS, it's like, well, what is the actual? An IOP is basically like it's a piece of data that you're moving, but the IOP size can differ. So you can have like, if you're moving like 1 million IOPS at like a byte, that's not very impressive. But if you're moving 1 million IOPS and like a single IOP is like, a couple of megs, that's fucking big. So if you're looking at the back of any of these things and it mentions like IOPS, like just kind of ignore that shit, because you can make it seem like there's 1 million of anything if you just make the increments really fucking small. So what you need to pay attention to is the actual megabits per second read or writes. So those are the things that you need to read. And for the PS5, if you want to get the internal expansion slot, you need to have an NVMe Gen 4 M.2 drive that has up to, I think, it has to get at minimum 5,600 megabits reads. So if it's less than that, there's going to be some issues. I heard that you can put ones that are less than that in there, but like I have another one here that's actually still in the box. But this one's like only like 2,600, and it's far less than what the PS5 is used to using. So I got this one without a heatsink, because for some reason on Amazon, it might be Amazon alone because somebody brought it up later that this wasn't an issue on Best Buy. But on Amazon, if you go and try to buy this exact hard drive and other hard drives like this, if you get the heatsink version, it's like $400 fucking more. And I am not exaggerating. It's $400 more.
It's almost the price of the console.
Yeah, and this is already not cheap. Like I got this for like $360, so this is almost the price of the console. Which is why I was telling you guys when the first dropped, I was like, hey, when these SSDs come out, this is probably going to be the cost of the console. But this one is 2 terabytes, so most people probably don't need 2 terabytes. But I play a lot of games, so instead of getting the heatsink installed, from the factory, I got this Sarbrent one. If you want to see this right here, even though it's backwards, you can probably read backwards at this point. But it's a PS5 heatsink, and what's cool about this one is that it'll fit any SSD that you're gonna put in here, and you don't have to actually like attach it to the top of the SSD. It actually replaces the cover for the expansion slot. So this gets replaced with this. So you take off like a sticker part on the back, like a sticker cover, and then you just You take this off your PS5 and then you put this on instead. And
So it's like a condom.
sort of.
Damn.
It even comes with a screwdriver, so that's kind of cool. And it's replacing or putting in a new expansion slot drive is incredibly easy. The only hard part is getting the actual side cover off, because it's kind of jarring. Like you have to use kind of a lot of force, probably more than most people are used to. I recommend if you're gonna do this, put your PS5 on a table and make sure it's a big table. Put it like in the middle of a table, because you're putting it on the edge of a table and you try to take the thing off. It could slide off the fucking table and just break your shit. Because it's that much force. Like literally when I pushed mine off, luckily it was from left to right, and I hit some shit on the left of it. And I was like, damn, good thing it wasn't on the edge of the fucking table, because it would have just flew right the fuck off. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've actually
Go ahead.
heard that you should routinely take the cover off to clean out the fan system inside the PS5, because it can get kind of dusty up in there.
Yeah, so my fan was actually super clean. I was very surprised.
Oh, okay.
But it was super clean. But I'm also in a new building that doesn't have a lot of dust in here yet. So only one person can
Not that much activity, yeah.
Yeah. So actually most stuff in here doesn't really accumulate too much dust yet. I mean, there's some dust in here, but not a lot.
Yeah, well, I've been wanting to get a new skin for my PS5, because I know there was a company out there making like new covers,
D-brand was.
but Sony was like,
yeah.
not on my fucking watch.
Yeah, I was gonna
They had
buy
to stop
one
doing it
too.
because they were making like legit ones. Like it even had like the PlayStation buttons increased or indent into it, which was kind of cool. But yeah, I think all they have out there now is just wraps you can put on your current system.
Yeah, I wanted.
But I hear taking off the cover is hard as hell.
Yeah, because I wanted. Actually, fuck, I scratched the top. God damn it! You can see where I scratched it. A little bit. There's like little marks. I don't know if you guys can see this on here, but no, you can't see it. But yeah, it came with like, so if I have the PS5, well, you can replace the covers on the side, and also had like a decal for the middle part, and that was dope from D brand. But I guess with Sony said that nobody except for Sony is going to make covers for the PS5. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe like have a licensing fee. You know, that probably make more sense, because it's just fucking plastic. It's not really serving too much function. So why the fuck not? I mean, somebody's already gonna. You could probably build them if I had a 3D printer. I could just print it. But yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, looks like DB Rant is just doing wraps for it now. They don't do actual covers. Yeah, they're just doing skins, not actual covers.
I'll probably get the skin, because I mean they're cool.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty easy to put the skin on there. I mean, I guess getting the air bubbles, that's probably the tricky part. But I think you just make sure it's warm and you just put it on there and stretch it out and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, where are we going next, guys?
Actually, pop up.
Well, there's been a lot of stuff that popped out this week. We can talk about. Y'all see this Morbius trailer?
Oh yes, I did.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think, man?
Well, at least the latest trailer.
Yes.
Well, okay. And Blue, you saw this too?
Did it drop today or did it drop like a couple of days ago?
Yesterday, I think. Or was it today? It was yesterday or today?
Yesterday.
Yeah.
I think I saw it. Yeah, I saw it.
All right. What'd y'all think of this? This is kind of crazy.
No, I really liked it. Honestly, I'm more interested in the movie now. It's interesting. That was like one of the movies that dropped off of my radar and probably most people's radar, because this was made before the pandemic. We had trailers for it before the pandemic, and then they kept pushing it back. Which is, I mean, a lot of movies did, but this one I totally forgot about it. And the trailer that we saw yesterday was really good. I mean, I was very interested in like the way they're portraying Morbius. He looks just like he does he looks similar in the comics. They're doing his origin story, as far as I can tell, just like they did in the comics. There hasn't been any deviation that I can tell so far. Not that is super important, but if you're a comic book fan, it sort of is. I think Jared Leto looks really good as like a feeble, guy, and then getting him like semi-yoked as Morbius. That's pretty cool. And then also like all the Easter eggs of like Morbius is definitely going to be in at least the Spider-Verse and probably other MCU tie-ins as well. There's shout-outs to like Sinister Six and Venom and like all this shit. So I think it's really cool they did that. I think it could definitely extend the at least Spider-Man universe franchise out a bit and like expand upon that.
Yeah, for me, like kind of piggyback off what you said about Jared Leto playing Morpheus. I think not Morpheus, Morbius. I think he'll probably do a better job at being Morbius than he did the Joker in the Suicide Squad. I mean, he kind of going back and watching it, he actually wasn't that bad. It's just that his if it had came out that he was actually not Jason Todd, but is it Tim Drake? I can't remember which Robin becomes the Joker in Batman Beyond franchise. But
I think it's Jason Todd
I
in
think it is Jason Todd.
Batman Beyond. Yeah.
yeah, okay, yeah, I couldn't remember, but yeah, if it turned out it was him, I'd be like, okay, this is like a totally different Joker. But anyways, yeah, I thought the trailer was really cool. Like the special effects was like I'm more excited about this than I was like when the Venom trailer dropped, just because I think the whole notion with Venom was that you can't have Venom without Spider-Man. Like Venom becomes Venom because of Spider-Man. Like he gets his logo on his chest because he first was on Spider-Man and he takes his like swagger and becomes fucking Venom and like meets up with like God, I can't think of the guy's name. What's the guy who something Brock?
Eddie
Brock. Yeah, I couldn't think of freaking first name. But yeah, but with Morpheus, like the Easter eggs are like all over the place. We know he's kind of in the world of Homecoming, like Spider-Man Homecoming universe, because we get to see the Vulture, but then like there's other little Easter eggs, like this was in the first trailer too. Like there's the poster and Spider-Man, it says murderer, but that version of Spider-Man is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. But then like they showed the Oscorp building, and the Oscorp building, like the way it looks and the font that they're using, it's the same as the one from Spectacular Spider-Man. Is it Spectacular Spider-Man?
Amazing Spider-Man.
Amazing Spider-Man, yeah, it's from that series with Garfunkel or whatever his name is. But yeah, overall, the special effects was on point. Like we got to see him kind of transform. We got to see him use some of his powers. So we get to see exactly what's going on, and we get to see motherfuckers get murdered by a vampire, basically. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I kind of felt the same. And then we got a little bit more story stuff because we found out that he's been at sea for like months or years.
2 months? I think it was 2 months he was missing.
I think it was 5 months. So he's away from society for a while, and you see like he like attacks them all crazy and stuff, but yet they end up interviewing him like, you've been gone for this long, what happened to you? So I'm definitely way more interested in seeing this. I think this will be more entertaining even than both Venoms. So
probably both Spider-Man movies too.
I doubt that, but I mean, I won't be surprised if he shows up in the next Spider-Man, because that'll be out before Morbius, because Morbius is out early next year. January or February of 2022, something like that?
March?
I think it's before then.
February or March. Yeah, February or March.
So it's coming out fairly quick, and we're going to get Spider-Man No Way Home beforehand. I won't be surprised if we see him in it briefly. I think the big question for a lot of fans is, are we going to see Blade in Morbius? I kind of doubt it, because we already got the Vulture. I think doubling down like that might kind of cheapen it, but you never know. We'll see. I'm way more interested in this now with this new trailer. Don't get me wrong. Trailers have let me down before. Like there's some trailers for movies and you watch them, they're just mid or worse. So, but right now this has piqued my interest. I'm definitely interested in seeing this for sure. I like what they put out. So
yeah, I believe Morbius was supposed to come out before Venom. Mm-hmm. This was supposed to be like last year. Last
summer.
I'm assuming they had to go back and do a little editing, because I know in the trailer they mentioned about what went down in San Francisco, which I guess was a nod to the whole Venom. And we even get Mobius. God, I keep want to say Morpheus, but Morbius.
It's okay, keep drinking.
You get him saying like he's like grabbing a dude and he's like, "Oh, I'm Venom" and shit like that. It's like, oh, that was pretty fucking funny when he did that. But I don't know. This looks like it's gonna be a fun family movie. Actually, what's the
Maybe.
rating on this? It's probably PG-13.
Most likely PG-13. I highly doubt. This is a Marvel film.
I don't know why they keep
Yeah.
doing this. Like, listen, you're gonna have. I mean, we already proved with Deadpool that you can have a successful franchise with violence. Not every comic book franchise is gonna be super PC, even with Marvel. So let's bring out the violent ones and let the adults enjoy them. So
What was kind of cool was Deadpool. It was released twice. There was like a PG-13 version, and there was like a rated R version.
well, the PG-13 version came out way after the rated R version. Like way after. Which I'm fine with that, but actually not even really. I mean, just make if the character is violent, then just let them be violent. It's like, to me, it's like weird watching Wolverine not have blood in his claws. You know what I mean? Like it's just weird. Like it's blood and gore and shit like that. I think it's fine for like certain audiences. Like it'd be like trying to make like Saw fucking PG-13. Some of these comics are like that.
Yeah. Well, it's just gonna be weird to see what's going on. But I mean, we know that PG-13 tends to make more money. So.
Yeah. So I just looked it up. The PG-13 version of Deadpool, which was called Once Upon a Time a Deadpool, it made a little under $4 billion.
I mean, didn't it come out like when?
Yeah, it came out hell late.
Yeah,
Hell late.
wasn't the R-rated version on like Blu-ray when that one hit the theaters or something?
Mm-hmm.
Something all crazy.
That shit was on Betamax when it came out. You're talking about
God dang!
how long it took.
It is all bad.
It's all
Like, what's Betamax? damn kids.
Yeah, it's Betamax was a superior product, but porn went with VHS.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And everyone else switched.
it's the same thing with HDDVD. Porn was like, nah, we're just gonna go with Blu-ray, but also
Everyone switched.
Blu-ray was legit better though, because it could hold more storage.
Actually, I think porn went the other way. I feel like it went with HD DVDs.
Did they?
Nope, they had the choice.
Yeah.
Porn went Blu-ray, and everybody else was like, "Oh, I get the porn industry in Blu-ray. I guess we're going Blu-ray."
Microsoft went HD DVD. There was like one of the only few major companies that went HD. They even had the expansion for the Xbox 360.
Yeah, I remember that.
They had the expansion drive.
Yep.
And
See, I want to say the Sony was the reason why Blu-ray became more popular, because they had it in their fucking console. Like the console played Blu-rays, and the games majority of the games were Blu-ray format.
Well, Sony made Blu-ray though, so that's the reason why.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like Sony, like PlayStation was a little bit more popular than the Xbox, so I think more of the gaming world had an impact on Blu-ray being more popular than the adult industry.
I would say that the adult industry makes way more money than gaming.
Yeah, they do. A lot more.
You got to follow the money. As they say.
I think I'll have to look it up, but the porn industry makes like billions a year, like hundreds of billions.
Oh yeah, for sure. They make. They probably make $1 billion a day. No.
Possibly.
Well, who was that chick from Disney Channel that she made like $6 million in a day for showing like thigh boob, and people were fucking pissed. Like they wanted more.
Jesus Christ. Okay, so the pornography industry generates $12 billion annually. And just from the internet, right now, from what I can tell, it makes $2.5 billion annually. So that's a lot of... Well, actually, it's between 12 and 20 billion, it looks like. That's a lot.
Damn. That's a shit ton.
And the crazy thing is, like, y'all know I'm in the data storage field. I have never seen them hire people, because they're like the vast majority of data storage, not the vast majority, a lot of the data storage that we have out there is dedicated to porn. I haven't seen, at least me personally, I haven't seen a single pornographic company, at least advertising that they're hiring for data storage engineers, which is very odd to me. I've seen their setups in like co-locations before, and they're using like normal stuff, but it's all like they're in caged off areas, like literally it's behind lock and key in like a cage, in colos, but it's weird that I've never, and I've been working in data storage for like a fucking long time, since 2003. Yeah, and I've never had a gig from a porn, and I used to be a contractor. Never had a porn gig to like work on the data storage stuff, not as being like an actor.
Yeah, I was about to say, not everybody can be in porn, Kronus.
I mean, yes, you can. You're just not trying hard.
Now, yeah, I mean,
hey, listen.
I mean, you could be in the porn industry, but to actually be a star, now that's a whole different feeling.
Depends on your audience. Right now, there's a porn shortage of male actors in Japan. So if you want to be a porn star, go to Japan.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm reading a few articles about like why did Blu-ray win over HD, and the number one reason is the PS3.
Well, because it was in there. But I mean, Sony also made it. But
yeah,
porn also picked it. I can almost guarantee you. Remember, Microsoft picked the fucking HDDVD.
Yeah,
I think porn chose HDDVD as well.
I don't think
no, they went Blu-ray, man. They literally went Blu-ray. They were the first like outlet to announce that they're gonna move all their content to Blu-ray because they were in the same conundrum, and that was the thing. Everyone keeps talking about how when porn went from Betamax to VHS, once it was, I mean, if you watch even Boogie Nights, I mean, I know it's a fictionalized version of the porn industry, but they are talking about how, film to VHS kind of ruined quality, quote unquote, porn, but it made the porn industry a lot of money. And then when Blu-ray HD DVD was out, porn industry, they chose Blu-ray, and so everyone kind of switched like almost overnight. Make that money. Gotta follow the money, man. What's this? So, y'all still looking this up?
No,
Yeah,
I'll talk to somebody else.
I was still trying to do some research to see.
Of course. So we got another trailer that popped out. Did y'all see this Book of Boba Fett trailer?
I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's fucking good though.
Oh man.
Go
You see
for
this,
it.
Kronus?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, so it's posted on our Facebook page. If you haven't seen it yet, go over there and check it out. To me, I think it's just barely scratching the surface on what's yet to come. I mean, it looks like we're going to see the Star Wars criminal underworld finally. I know the big project that everyone wanted to see was Star Wars 1313, which was a video game project, which was kind of being taken over by Amy Hennig, and then that kind of fell apart too. So a lot of people have been, all about this Star Wars underworld stuff, and this looks like this will be it. Looks like we're going to see criminal crime syndicates and whatnot, all live action under the Book of Boba Fett, and how he's restructuring Jabba the Hutt's like crime syndicate.
Empire.
Yeah, pretty much. Looks like he's starting from scratch, kind of. I mean, it doesn't show a whole lot of violence, but there's a lot of tension and brooding.
And Mina Wing's in it still, right?
Yeah, she's his right hand. She's like his right hand assassin. Almost every frame is the two of them together, like handling shit. So
Love me some Mina.
yeah. What do you think, Kronus?
I liked it a lot. Seeing Ming-Na Wen in there, still looking fucking ageless, basically, was excellent. Seeing Boba Fett, which has a man that's a Star Wars fan, it's good to see him back. I would like to see how he got out of the Sarlacc pit. Hopefully they go into that. I like that he was basically going to be on Jabba the Hutt's throne. I think there's going to be a lot of Star Wars lore that's going to come out. I fucking loved it.
Yeah, I suspect we will see some more bounty hunters in the show. Some of the more popular ones. I have my top 3 characters, which I feel like will make an appearance in the show. One will probably be Dirge, even though Dirge technically died twice. He's been resurrected in the current comics, I guess. So I don't know how that happened, but we may get live action Dirge.
Well, didn't Boba Fett die in the movie?
Yeah, he technically died in the movie, and Darth Maul died too, and he came back too.
That's true, he came back.
So he's like my number 3. Number 2 is the twins. I know a lot of people don't like not the twins, the sisters. The 2 sisters that we see in Clone Wars season 7 that hung out with Ahsoka when they were trying to help her translate into civilian life. I know a lot of people don't like the two of them because they kind of don't, well, at least for me, they kind of don't really add that much to the universe. They're just kind of there. They're kind of in the gray area where one of the sisters wants to be like basically a smuggler, the other one just wants to be a mechanic and tries to keep the other sister in line, but they don't really, to me, they don't really add anything to the other characters. They just kind of bump into them. They have like a little adventure, then they part ways. So we may see a live action of them. And then number 1 is Cad Bane. We may finally get Cad Bane live action.
Yeah,
somebody needs better internet.
Yeah. Oh, Ninja, you really need to upgrade your internet, man. We lost.
Well,
like,
I've
the
already-
last 5 seconds.
Oh, I've been upgraded, plus, but I'm wireless though. I'm not plugged in, unfortunately.
Oh.
But yeah, we're probably gonna see Cad Bane. He's the only like bounty hunter that literally strolled up into the Jedi Temple and broke someone out of prison and got out. I mean, he did have help from Count Dooku, but still, like, who has the balls to roll up to a bunch of Jedi, break someone out of prison, and dip, and not get cut in half? But yeah,
You know who else was who came back from the dead is fucking not Count Dooku. God, Palpatine.
oh
Spoiler
yeah,
alert. So if you watch Force Awakening or whatever the last
Rise-
recent,
Rise of
the Jedi.
Skywalker.
oh that's right, Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, if you learn Palpatine is still alive. Was he a bunch of clones, right? Spoiler.
Looks like it. Looks like he cloned himself probably a few times to perfection.
Welcome to the dark side.
I mean, shit.
But no, like I don't know, like I haven't seen the trailer, but I'm just hyped for seeing the Boba Fett because like at the end of Mandalorian, like he fucking kills what was it who was that? Name of the pink guy? He was like Jabba the Hutt's side guy before Jabba the Hutt fucking died, and he kind of took over his empire. But yeah, we get to see Boba Fett sit on fucking Jabba the Hutt's fucking throne, and Min-Na Ween's character fucking just pop open a nice blue cool bottle of something, some alien liqueur, and just takes a sip and just chill. It was almost like
It's Romulan ale. Just
it was
saying.
like that Army of Darkness pose or poster where like you got the guy cheering aside, you got the hot chick kind of sitting on to the side type of deal. That's the vibe I got from that scene. But I'm looking
Yep.
forward to this.
This drops next month, like right around Christmas. So I'm excited. This would be a nice little Star Wars Christmas present for me.
I want to know, when do we get Ahsoka?
Probably not till next year. Probably end of next year. We're lucky. So we'll see. I haven't seen too much about it, but yeah. I can't wait for that one either. That was gonna be interesting.
You want to talk about the other trailer that was dropped from Disney? Or was that last week? When was that dropped?
I don't know.
The Lightyear one. Did we already talk about that one?
Yeah, we talked about Lightyear last week.
Okay, never mind then.
So last week we didn't get a chance to talk about it because we ran out of time, but PlayStation State of Play. Did y'all watch any of this stuff?
Honestly, there wasn't much to. It was.
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
Okay, I don't want to be flippant about indie games because like a lot of indie games are good. Not all of them, but some of them are good. But yeah, it was mostly indie games that most people haven't heard about. There's only one that really caught my eye. I think it was like Death something. Oh, I gotta look it up. So let me bullshit for a second and look it up. It was Death something.
Is it Death Takes a Holiday? Just kidding, because that's a movie, I think. But
I was gonna say Death Stranding, but that's
Wasn't Death?
That's a different
It's
game.
Death's Door. I think
Oh,
it's
okay.
called. So let me look up Death's Door. I'm pretty sure that's the one. It's on Steam already, so yeah. Well, it's already
okay.
on Steam, so. But yeah, it was like a
Still.
three-quarters top-down game, and it looked interesting to me. But once again, it's an indie game, so not that there's anything. I keep saying that like it's bad. It's not bad. It's just it's not. They didn't announce something like Horizon or God of War. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'm doing indie games a disservice. I'm trying not to.
yeah, because there's some great indie games
Yes.
out there.
yeah,
They're
they're what?
I was gonna say, I don't like they're really good. Like the story is there, this and that, but like, I guess the gameplay longevity. I don't know. A lot of the indie games are pretty short.
Well, I think what was that game that I really liked? It was Hades. I'm pretty sure that was an indie game, and that game was fantastic. Like I love that game.
There was a game I played that was an indie game I loved. There was one called, I think I talked about it on a podcast, called like Malignant or something like that, and like this game, it will make you sick just how the physics work in this game, just because you're in a world, and in the middle of that world is a dollhouse, and you can put things within that dollhouse, because that dollhouse is basically a representation of your world. So anything you put inside of this dollhouse will appear in your real world, and it'll be big. So you can like you need to get up a stairs, you drop like a little stairway in this little dollhouse, and then bam, you're there. But then like if you go outside of your world, it turns out you're actually inside of a dollhouse of another world. So like everything, when you go outside of your world, everything that was originally your world, it's like gigantic. So it's a giant fucking mind fuck.
That sounds like an episode of Lock and Key.
Oh yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that literally happened in this current season. So, I mean, another super popular indie game was the Stanley Parable, because that game was a trip. Like I've played the original version, because there's a deluxe version, and then there's like there's a separate version for the console, which is kind of slightly different. That game was super crazy, but it's like a very well thought out game based off of the Half-Life like engine. But it's like it's I want to say it's like a dark comedy, but it's like a weird first person kind of game, because it feels like it's a horror game, but it's like really
a horror game.
Game? No, horror game. I mean, there could be horrors in it. I don't know. There's a lot of hidden stuff in that game.
Did you not play the game?
I played the game.
Okay.
But you can literally end the game within 10 seconds. So there's multiple endings in the game.
In 10 seconds, you just turn it off.
No, you can literally reach the end of the game within 10 seconds. Okay. You just like, yeah, it literally gives you like a Matrix style choice. Do you want to do this or do this? And it's like, I want to do this, and it tells you like this could end your experience, and like, you're like, I just want to check out this door, and then it goes through, and then the game ends. Like literally roll credits. I'm just like, oh shit. So it was a pretty interesting game.
Yeah. There's another. The Fuzz was another fun game that was on the PS2 or 3. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a little like you're like this little character, and you can rotate the world, and like depending on the way you look at the world, like different things are unlocked. It's one of those I like those mind puzzle type games. Like those always interest me. Like there's this one I downloaded called the Pedestrian, and basically you're a little stick figure, basically. Like you know how like when you go to the bathroom, how you have like the man and woman logo, like that little stick figure character. You're basically that. Also, it's called Pedestrian because like you start off on like you know how when you go to use a crosswalk, you push a button, there's that little guy on there. You start off as him, and you progress through the world by going. You're in a 3D world, but you have to stay within a 2D world. So like you're jumping from like different like construction signs and this and that, and there's like different puzzles for you to figure out, and it's crazy. Like once you get to the end, you're a regular person and you're inside this giant fucking world where like you know somebody on the outside is controlling it, and you have to figure out how everything fucking works. It's a crazy mindfuck game too.
Yeah, sounds like the Stanley Parable.
Yeah, it was originally released on Steam, but it just got released on the PS4. But you can play it on the PS5.
I gotta say, I like how PlayStation and the PC are like, you know, two peas in a pod right now. Like they're exchanging, you know, their games. So God of War is going to get released, I think, in December on the PC, and I think Horizon Zero Dawn already got released. A bunch of other games that were originally Sony, you know, PlayStation exclusives that are now getting dropped in the PC, and vice versa. And this gives me a really good feeling because I already pre-ordered the Steam Deck. So this is gonna be it's gonna be a low-key fucking Vita 2. Like if I could play my PlayStation games on. Hopefully, they have a plugin like specifically for it because you can already do like remote play with your PS5 and PS4 on your PC. So if you do like a similar thing with the Steam Deck, that's gonna be fucking awesome. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Then it gets into the thing where do we really need exclusive games for consoles? I'm still gonna say yes because the only thing that really differentiates consoles nowadays is the controller and then the exclusives. That's pretty much it. Excluding the Switch, I don't really put the Switch into the mix because on a technical level, they are nowhere near the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. They're just not. It's just a different kind of console. But as far as like similar gaming experiences on the Xbox Series X and the PS5, it just comes down to exclusivity and the controller. Everything else is basically the fucking same at this point in time.
And I would say the Switch is more of a souped up Game Boy. I mean, it's still a console you can hook up to your TV, but the fact that it's portable just reminds me of the Game Boy. I mean, I guess they call it the Switch. Not the Switch. They call it the DS?
I would say it's more of a souped
Game Boy.
I love the Switch, to be honest with you. Like, I love that it's portable. I love that I can play it on both my TV and handheld. I love it. And the games that are on there are the different kinds of exclusives. Like, I'm gonna buy Metroid Dread pretty soon. I want to finish Far Cry 6, and then Dread will probably be my next game, and then after that I'll probably play like Deathloop. But yeah, there's a lot of really good exclusives on the Switch, which is why people discount the Switch a lot, but it's still one of the highest selling consoles of this generation. Like the PS5 is just now beating it, but overall it's nowhere near it because obviously the PS5 came after the Switch, but Nintendo consoles usually sell really fucking good, and nobody gives them any kind of goddamn credit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of. I mean, just getting the Mario and Zelda properties alone, or is what, it's like I said, exclusivity. That's exclusive to that unit, and then like the Mario spin-off games, like there's a new Mario Party, I think that's out now.
Just dropped, yeah.
I mean, those are super popular games. Like the latest one literally encompasses generations of Mario Party all in one game. So it's like, that's gonna be a good ass seller. I remember I tried getting, one of the games on Switch for my niece, and it was sold out. It was literally sold out for like 2 months.
Well, I
was just like, what the fuck?
People forget about Nintendo. So one thing is that the Nintendo Wii destroyed an entire console generation. They destroyed it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, nobody even came close. And there was the Xbox and PS, I think 3 at the time were there. They were great consoles, but the Wii just destroyed them all with console sales and game sales. But another thing that people kind of forget about is that I think for kids, like, if you want to have a console where kids can, like, grow and learn how to play games, the Nintendo console is perfect for that. Like they're literally made for smaller hands. The concepts on how to play the games, you're taught. It's way easier to understand those concepts when you're playing like a Mario game or a Zelda game because, especially Mario, because things are very simplistic, but they can get more complicated as you go on. It just depends on how you choose to play, and it's very simple for kids to pick up and like learn how to play, and they just go with it. Like my when she was 3, my youngest daughter, she started playing, Mario games, and she loved it. Like she understood like how it worked right away. She immediately wanted to learn more about Mario, and she wanted to watch like the old Mario show they used to have on TV like back in like the fucking 90s and shit. She loved it. Like I can't have her sit down with like any other like Sony franchise or Microsoft franchise that's exclusive to those consoles and be like, here, play this and enjoy it. Like most of the things they're geared towards are older gamers, or somebody that already has like really good hand-eye coordination. It's not really like that, It's just good to have Nintendo as like a console there for kids to like learn, because that's how we all learned how to play. Most of us that are older, I learned how to first play games on a Atari 2600. Then I went to a Nintendo, and I just kept going through the generations. But if you'd have handed me, this complicated ass controller as like a 3-year-old, like I'd be like, well, fucking what? Why are there so many goddamn buttons? Like, and somebody might argue that, oh, well, so the Nintendo has a bunch of buttons too. Yeah, it does, but when you play a Mario game, how many buttons do you actually press? It's like 3. Like seriously, it's 3 in the D-pad. It's way
Yeah.
easier than fucking. I think this has got like 16 plus buttons on it. And it's just.
Yeah.
I can understand it, but I can understand why kids be like, "What the fuck is this thing? Why I gotta do all
Yeah.
these complicated motions?" So.
Shit, and the original the NES had 4 buttons: the start, select, and then A and B, and then that's it. Just run it. I mean, the Wii was simple too. Like you wave your hand, and that was your control. Like you just wave it at the screen, and like you're having fun. I mean, it was so great just watching people like try to play like tennis or baseball or like boxing and all that shit. Just jumping around their house. It was so hilarious, but it was awesome at the same time because everyone was involved. Like mom and dad were playing.
Grandma was playing.
Grandma was playing.
Well, remember when it first came out, when the Wii first came out, hardcore gamers were talking all this kinds of shit about how the controls were gimmicky, and it's just a gimmick. It's just a gimmick. Then when the PS4 came out, what the fuck happened? DualShock 4 came out, had literally the same fucking the DualSense controller came out, and it was the same fucking motion controls. So it wasn't gimmicky. Like people like in certain games, it's appropriate to like have it's not every game. But certain games, it's appropriate to have like some sort of 3-dimensional interaction with objects, and now the DualSense 5 or the DualSense came out, and this is my favorite controller of all time, of all fucking time.
Oh fuck yeah!
Hands down.
So anybody out there that's listening, anybody who's young, there was a point where it was a fashion trend for you wore your Wii controllers nunchucks around your neck like it was a fucking scarf. Like people would go to school wearing their fucking Wii controllers around their neck just because at the time it was hard to get a Wii, but it seems like everybody had one.
It was really hard to get a Wii. I had to like wait for a couple of months to get mine.
Yeah, but when you had one, like it was a lot of fun to play. Like me, I'm not a huge Nintendo fan. Like I have childhood drama with Nintendo, but the Wii was pretty fun to play. Like every time I was to somebody's house.
Blue, what the fuck is wrong with the Nintendo?
That's what that was my next question. So did someone drop one on your head or something?
No, I talked about this on the podcast before. So back back when I was a kid, both my brothers had Nintendos. Their father bought them Nintendos, and they would like constantly said I couldn't play and this and that. I had to like sneak around to try to play it and this and that. But once Sega dropped the Sega Genesis, I like saved up my money and bought it myself, and that's pretty much the story. And I've never owned a Nintendo product ever.
Oh,
I mean, well, you're a grown up now. You can do that if you want.
Yeah, I'll go. I can buy it. Well, the sweetness, she has a Game Boy that she loves, and she like plays it every now and then. She plays only one game on it, but she still plays it.
What does she play? No, I'm curious.
Spunky, I think it's called. So it's this monkey, and like there's these like alien things like going around, and like you have to like throw up a ball, and every time you bounce the ball, it gets bigger and bigger, and then you can fucking like throw it at them to take them out. Like I literally watch her play this game. I watch her beat the game. Like I have the RetroPie on my on my God, what is it? Raspberry Pi, and I like I literally downloaded the game for her to play. And she sat like I looked up the code to get to the end, like to fight the last person, and she freaking beat it. Like it was like no problem. I barely got past like level 5. Wow. She's like seriously good at that game. I'm gonna go grab it real quick. I know exactly where it is. Like her Game Boy.
I remember your RetroPie because we played it in the car. This was awesome.
Oh yeah, you're in Comic-Con, right?
Yeah, we went to Comic-Con. We hooked it up to this.
That was WonderCon, I think.
Was it WonderCon?
Yeah, because Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con, we only get 2 passes usually.
Oh yeah, it was WonderCon. Yeah, we went to LA. We hooked it into the center console display and was gaming. We were gaming hard. Yeah. We were playing some Battletoads. We were playing all kinds of stuff. I love me some Battletoads. I do not have the new one though, because it's on there, but I don't remember if it's like $30 or whatever.
Yeah, I haven't played it. I haven't played games like that in a long time. Maybe I should. I don't know. I've been playing what was it? Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, the zombie mode. I fucking love that zombie mode. Like it's not getting old. Yeah, it's not getting old. And there's the new Halloween shit. That was so.
Oh, the one where you can play Scream. You can be Ghostface or whatever.
I don't know. It's just well, they have like they modified the zombie mode to where it's like it's way more frenetic. Like Oh, he's pulling up his.
Oh shit!
So if you're listening
It's
to
an
this,
actual Game Boy.
he has an actual
The-
Game Boy.
It's
It's in pretty good
it's a
condition,
Game
too.
Boy. It's a Game Boy Pocket, but like this is the game
Games
in
on it?
there.
Yeah.
Now you took it out, and now the game's not. Now it's never gonna work again.
Yeah.
Well, no, but like she keeps this in her center console when she has like a little break. She'll go off and play. But like this is the only game she plays. Is a game. I better go put it back before she wakes up. She's gonna come here and stab me.
You know, you should just.
Oh, that's awesome.
You should hide the just the game
Oh
the console
my god!
and just hide the game.
My god, you would die. We'd never.
Yeah,
see
right.
it
It'd be
again.
like y'all got to have RIP to Blue. He took Kronus' device and hit the sweetest Game Boy game.
That's- yeah.
Murdered him.
He went missing. Yeah, Blue's been missing for like a month. We just go say R.I.P.
He was seen on camera at a campsite.
All right,
Well,
where we going
damn.
next, gentlemen?
Blue, I got to kind of put you on the
Sir.
spot.
Got you
You were kind of in the stratosphere last week, and we didn't get a chance to talk about this, but this has been on the list for weeks. This is about a movie that was on HBO Max for a while. I don't
Oh yeah,
know
fuck
if
this
it's
movie.
I don't know if it's on there anymore, but
It's still on there.
I watched the movie, so now I got to hear your review and then see if I can add addendum or give
Wow.
counter
God.
for it.
So
Works on-
it's
Go ahead, Blue.
yeah, it's this movie on HBO. It looks like a really good. It's called
Malignant.
Malignant.
Yes.
Yeah. This movie was ignorant. Stupid. It's stupid as hell. Oh my god. The trailers made it look really scary. Really like, oh god, this is like, somebody scared of, because everybody had, I mean not everybody, but everybody had like a best friend growing up as a kid. But it's like, what if that imaginary friend, it's his imaginary friend was actually a fucking murderer, like a demon who was out killing people. And it's like, oh shit, I had an imaginary friend. Let's see where they're gonna go with this. This movie made no fucking sense whatsoever. Like the special effects was really badly done, and like it's especially when they revealed like the imaginary friend, it was like kind of anticlimactic, and like it doesn't make any kind of fucking sense. There's a lot of continuity issues. I can't even. It's been so long, I kind of blocked that out of my memory. But like, there's like a prison scene where like the imaginary friend appears and just start murdering people. But it's like how the hell did they get out of how they get out of the cell? Like I don't remember how they got out of the cell. Like for some reason the cop came, was like, hey, let me investigate what's going on, and they get murdered, and it just. I don't know. It just didn't make any kind of fucking sense. And then like the girl, she's being abused by her boyfriend, and she like tries to escape, and just shit goes. I don't know. It was not good at all. Like it was really bad.
Oh,
What's your
man.
take on it, DJ?
Man. So I watched this because I thought this said this was gonna take it off.
It might be off now. I don't know.
Yeah, so I hurried up and watched it. I wanted to watch it before Halloween, so I was watching it. And I was kind of digging it, but then things started to kind of like unravel a little bit because it's like I was like, "What the hell's going on?" And then there's just like quote unquote twist in the film, and I'm just like, "This wasn't a twist at all." If you're paying attention, you know that this chick is like doing something weird or something. It was the movie was inconsistent. It literally felt like two movies that were packed together and they were held together by this very thin thread. And then the prison scene that Blue's talking about, like, it was, first of all, Zoe Bell's in the scene. I'm like, there's no way this little skinny ass chick is taking down Zoe Bell. Like
Right?
Zoe Bell,
This chick probably was like 125 wet.
Easily, and at least, I mean, Zoe Bell's probably like 135, 140, but that we're talking muscle, because she's a stunt woman. She's been doing stuff for a while. She works with Quentin Tarantino a lot. She's in that movie, I believe it's on Netflix again, Raised, where she fights like in a movie about a female fight club, and this little, like, literally 110-pound chick, I wouldn't even say 120, 110, when she's covered in blood, 110, like, takes this chick out. I'm just like, what is happening? it turns into this weird horror movie, into this funky action creature flick, and I'm like, what? This does not. I wasn't really sold. I will say the action, the fight scenes were, I think, well choreographed. It worked out really well, but the story was trash. Like,
Well, like,
it totally flips on you, and it doesn't
yeah.
hold a whole lot of water. Like, literally, there's a scene where the antagonist has a knife, and there's 30 cops, literally 30 cops, shooting at this one dude, and they all get knifed to death. I'm like, there's no fucking way that 30 cops are missing this many times
Inside of a police precinct.
inside of an enclosed like warehouse or whatever. It looks like a warehouse, but it is a precinct. There's two shots where the cops shoot point blank with a shotgun and miss. Like, no, that's not happening. Like, what the fuck?
It's almost like it was a movie that was make believe.
Yeah, it was all imaginary. But no, there was like, oh god, it triggered another memory. There's a scene where a girl goes to see her sister, and this imaginary friend sent an email to her sister saying like, oh, you're just like, I hate you and blah blah blah, and her sister's all mad about it. Like, she could have easily been like, I didn't say that. Like, that's not, those aren't words I would say. Like, she could have easily defuse that whole situation, but it just, the sister was like, I'm not talking to you ever again, and all of a sudden they hang out again. It's like, what?
Yeah, she was
okay, I'll meet you for dinner. Like, what the fuck is going on?
So there's another scene where if you've ever played what was it, Batman Arkham Knight, where you go into the old Gotham area, they literally have it looks like old Gotham.
Yeah,
and they have like all these old 1930s, but like not even the 30s, like 19 teens, like buggies and horse-drawn carriages and shit, just all like cobwebbed up underneath the city. And apparently this person or creature or whatever seems to know the layout very well, escaping a cop. I'm like, where did this even come from? Like, it played no part into the story. Like, they show it earlier, but it's like, this makes no sense.
And then like why do all insane asylum have to be on a fucking mountain cliff, like a cliff? There's always like an ocean on one side, and then it's like a giant fucking cliff. Because there's a scene where like, and this is weird too, because like this guy, I think like somebody drives to this insane asylum, and they like, why do they always have to park next to the cliff? It's like isn't there a parking lot like somewhere safe? Like, they want to prevent people from accidentally throwing their car into drive and driving off the cliff, but for some reason, like, you gotta park next to the cliff where you can drive off the edge. It's I don't know.
It was just weird, because I'm just like, the insane asylum is really, really huge, and it looks like a hotel.
It does.
I'm like, why is this sitting here and nobody bought this land? I mean, this is in Seattle. This is worth real estate. Like, I don't know. It's just like, there's no way that it's gonna sit there for 3 decades and no one's touching this building. Like, no way.
Should we spoil the imaginary friend?
Sure, I don't care. I mean, it's already been out there. It's been out there for months.
Okay, so her imaginary friend is an imaginary friend. She's actually like a conjoined twin, and so she has another person on the back of her head, like fucking like in Harry Potter, basically, where the guy had like fucking Voldemort on the back of his fucking head.
Like,
and, like, he can control her.
It's her whole back. Her whole back. He looks like an alien. He looks like he has like a little bald head and like funky teeth, and he has these little fraily like dinosaur arms.
Yeah.
And like, I'm like, what? And then so what they do is they cut off the limbs and stuff, but then they push his face into
her skull.
And like, he manages to like manifest himself by pulling his face out of her skull. She's all bleeding everywhere. I'm just like, what? And like, so through the majority of the film, when he takes over, it looks like The Ring, where Samara has her hair over her face, but she's running backwards. And I'm like, the very first scene you see this imaginary friend or the brother or whatever, it looks like someone's running backwards. I'm like, what's going on here? It's very confusing.
Yeah, it's very demon-like, but
yeah, but then like the brother takes over, and then he's able to do martial arts like from a backwards stance.
Yeah, like how do you kick somebody? Like, I guess you're kind of like horse kicking them or some shit. It's just, I don't know.
I guess the caveat is he has powers. He has electromagnetic telekinesis powers. So.
Yeah, it's. I mean, he can make fucking phone calls through like the radio station or some shit like that too. So.
And that's how he communicates, just through radio.
Oh, yeah. And he can make calls through like cell phones and shit too, which is okay.
Weird.
How
Yeah,
the fuck can you
weird.
do that? He's like, oh, you should pick up that call. It's him, and all of a sudden all the lights start flickering. It's like, the hell? It's on the back of her head. Like, what? This is on it. It ain't any goddamn sense.
I mean, it sucks because this is a James Wan film, and he did the whole Conjuring universe. I think he directed one of the Fast and Furious movies, and he's a pretty popular director. And this, I guess they tried reimagining it. I give him credit for the effort,
Yeah.
but execution was just it missed the mark several times. Ugh.
I wish it's like the way they. I guess one way they could have saved. No, they probably couldn't. I was gonna say they could have saved this movie by making it more like she has like a split personality kind of that kind of vibe, or I don't know. It was a no for me, man. That movie got a hard one.
It's a no for me, dog.
Yeah, I give it a 1 just because I mean the trailer was good.
Yeah.
The storyline seemed like it had a good something to it, but like I just
execution, man. When you watch it as a whole, it falls apart for me. I give it a 2 because the actual fight scenes were actually on point.
Yeah, the fight scenes were pretty cool.
Fight scenes were cool, but it's weird going into a horror action film. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? I mean, I get the effort. I get what they were going. Hopefully, later on, someone's able to build on this and perfect this new type of. The effort was there. But it just didn't come together. It didn't gel for me. I would give it a 2 for sure.
I didn't think the black female cop was kind of funny, but like she was just basically one of the sites. Like every time she gets picking up, like she's fucking one of the sites. Like she's, I'm too old for this. She was a one of the site version of Danny Glover from from Lethal Weapon. She was like, I'm too old for this shit. Like, it was like.
I thought they were going to kill her off. I mean, she got shot. She's the only one that kind of got a shot in after 30 cops be missing, but
she got like shot in the chest and she survived. It's like, no, you should.
Oh, and she got stabbed.
And she got stabbed.
And she still made it, so kudos to her.
This creature killed like 50 men, and all of a sudden she comes up against a woman, stab her, and shoots her, and like she's somehow still lives. It's like, okay. Yeah. I'm glad you didn't like it either. I thought you were going to say that you thought it was a wonderful movie and it was like the best horror movie ever of all time.
Like, I know a lot of people enjoyed the twist. They liked the twist. And I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, oh my God, this movie. Like, I could tell what was going on, but then it went off the rails for me. I'm just like, dude, really? Like, I didn't appreciate or buy the whole, like, twin thing. And the only edge it had was he had powers and shit. I'm like, okay. Sure. I mean, if he really had those kind of like powers, all he had to do was touch someone and microwave their fucking brains. Easy death. You don't need a fucking knife. They made him look like he was Jack the Ripper, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah,
it's terrible. I mean, if you really want to see it, it's on HBO Max if you have a subscription. If you really have 2 hours to kill and you got nothing else going on, but I recommend like only watch it. Maybe watch it if you're drunk. Might get a good laugh.
Yeah, or high. That might make it scarier.
I doubt it. I doubt it'd be scarier.
It'll be funnier.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're high on.
Yeah, it'd probably be way funnier. Way funnier.
All right, moving on. Warrior Fellow had a question for us.
Oh,
he wanted to know, how was our Halloween? So Halloween was last Sunday?
Just
Sunday. It was Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
How was your Halloween? What did you guys do for Halloween, if anything?
Blue. Well, first of all, let's go. Did y'all dress up? And then what did you do?
I did
not. Blue.
So for us, we went and hung out with some friends who have they have a son around. He's a little bit. It's funny. These friends, they're Brazilian. They were at our wedding, and they have a son that's 2 days older than Storm, Stitch's daughter. But yeah, so like the whole thing was supposed to be superheroes. So obviously, I was Batman, but I got my son Sebastian or Bash. He was he was Robin. So I got a little Robin costume for him, and he had like a little mask, stuff like that. And the sweetness was she had a
Catwoman.
No,
Yes.
so she's been Catwoman in the past. She's been Catwoman. She's also been Martha Wayne's version of Joker. Because we one year I was Thomas Wayne Batman, and she was Martha version of Joker. If you don't know what that is, look up Flashpoint. It's a really good comic.
Yeah.
But anyway, but she was Batgirl. So she had like Batgirl outfit and a mask, and my friend who's Brazilian, she was Wonder Woman. She looks like Gal Gadot. Like it's really crazy how much she looks like Gal Gadot. But yeah, and their little son was Spider-Man. But we hung out. We just had like a little quick little brunch at their house, and their little son went trick or treating around the houses. But like I don't know, I wasn't comfortable taking Sebi out to all the different houses. But overall, it was a good time. We had I'm gonna keep its costume just as kind of a keepsake for first Halloween. But we also went to a pumpkin patch. So over in kind of, I want to say it's San Ramon or Dublin or Pleasanton area. Like when you're driving up the 580, off to the right, there's a rodeo thing. I think it's Hayward because
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's if you have to go to like Hayward something, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, there's a quick little pumpkin patch. They had like a little haunted house. They had like carousel, a Ferris wheel, and one of those giant slides. But yeah, it was free admission until you went there. Took a few quick pictures with Sebastian, and this kid. It's funny because I remember when Riley, we did a photo shoot with Riley at the Ardenwood pumpkin patch, and she like touched dirt and she was just fucking crying all over the place. But
She loves dirt now, by the way.
I bet.
Yeah, that day, we have like the best picture of her like crying.
Yeah.
it's hilarious. Go ahead.
But with my little one, like he grabbed a pile of hay and was just like, I'm gonna stick this in my mouth. like no joke. Like it was so hard to try to get a picture of him, but we got a couple of pictures picture of him. But overall, it was a fun little day. How about you guys?
For me, I actually worked. So Saturday before Halloween, I actually worked, but I went out. I managed to get out and go to downtown San Jose. So I was out like a little late. So I wasn't out for too long. I was out for we got there at like maybe quarter to midnight or whatnot. And everything closes at like pretty much 1:30. But every place had a huge line. Like you're talking down the street line at like maybe 10 different establishments. We managed to get into like one spot. The Britannia Arms had like a short-ish line, and then we were there for a quick drink. Went to the spot next door to it, which was super poppin'. They had a line. Went in there, hung out with the friend. I dressed as an essential worker, so that was pretty interesting. I had some fun. I was DD, so I didn't really drink, but the designated driver.
But I thought you were Dee from like from Dexter's Laboratory. I was like, wow, man, crazy.
Oh no,
Dee, get out of my laboratory.
He went in whiteface and crossed.
That's all bad. But yeah, I just hung out, and then
did you dress up?
Okay. Yeah, I said I went as essential worker.
Just said.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah.
So he went as himself.
Yeah. And then Halloween Halloween Day I didn't really do anything. Just kind of stayed at home and played Back 4 Blood. Nice. Shot zombies in the dick. So.
What did we do? We didn't go out, obviously. But we did the same thing we did last year with Riley, our 4-year-old, almost 5-year-old now. Is that we just did trick or treating at home. So I stayed in our room, and then my partner K-Mac went into her office. We closed the doors, and we had candy. And Riley would go back and forth and knock on the door, and we would give her candy and stuff. So at least she had some sort of experience. And she seemed to enjoy
really good idea.
Yeah, it sucks because we want her to be able to enjoy, Halloween, because I think it's one of her favorite holidays. She always talks about Halloween, and for her not to be able to like go out and trick or treat. The last time she wanted to go trick or treat, she was, I think 3, no 2. Jesus Christ, she went out with Prodigy's kids, and she actually had a lot of fun. But since then, she hasn't had, this has been 2 years now in a row, where she can't go out and enjoy herself. So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer. But she seemed to enjoy herself doing we did some fun things like just having fun with her, like knocking on the door and stuff. So she liked it. She dressed up, and obviously she got to dress up when she went to school. She got candy from school, so she didn't miss out on all of Halloween, but she definitely missed out on normal trick or treating. But like I said, she still enjoyed herself, so that's really what matters. Next year, hopefully, we'll be able to take her out real trick or treating. We're gonna get her vaccinated right around her birthday. She turns 5 at the end of this month. So we'll get her vaccinated, and then I will feel much more comfortable with her being out and about in the general populace.
What did she dress up as?
She dressed up as Ariel for Halloween, and then for like her Halloween party at school, and then at home. What was she? I can't remember what she. Oh, she was True from Netflix. So she was True like 2 days in a row, and she really loved. Honestly, I was surprised that they even found a True costume.
Costume.
Because literally, like, we were asking her, like, what do you want to be for Halloween? Something that we already had, and then like, when you ask your kids something, like, keep asking them, like, as the day approaches, because they might change their mind.
Oh yeah.
So kind of like a parenting semi-pro tip. If they change their mind, like, it's good to know if they change their mind, so it gives you time to prepare. And if there's not enough time, you have time to, like, tell them, hey, like, there's, like, not enough time to, like, make this change. So when she said she wanted to be True, we told her that oh, there goes. That,
so it's just go
ahead.
Yeah.
Jay.
So it's just me and Sebastian. So me as Batman and him as Robin. He wasn't feeling it. He's like,
Yeah.
the fuck's going on, dude?
He's not the son of it, man. You are.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, like literally the day before the actual Halloween, we asked, what she wanted to be for Halloween. She changed her mind, said that she wanted to be True. So we're like, okay, we know you want to be True, but it's the day before Halloween. K-Mac, she's gonna take you to go to like the Spirit or wherever the fuck the closest Halloween store was. I think it was Spirit. But if they don't have it, like, don't be surprised, because it's the day before, and usually things are like sold out. So she's like, okay. I was like, you sure you're gonna be okay if they don't have it? She's like, okay, yeah, I'm sure. Okay. So they went and they found it. They found one in just her size.
Oh God.
So, like, thank goodness. So yeah, so she wore the True costume, and then she broke it, but it's all good.
Dude, it was actually when the family was driving home from Halloween, there was actually a lot of kids out trick or treating, which I was kind of, I don't know, I was kind of surprised about with the whole COVID thing. But like, everybody was wearing every kid that I saw was wearing a mask, not just like a character mask, but they actually had face mask on. So people were really taking legit, and then a lot of people were still doing the whole like the little bags. Like they'll have like a bag of the candy, or some people have like the chute, like they have like a PVC pipe that like runs from like the doors to such, and the kid just put the bag there. Like I haven't seen any videos or coverage of somebody like actually handing out candy. So a lot of people are still doing like the whole candy chute, which I thought was pretty cool for people to do that.
Yeah, we didn't get anybody, but also I didn't leave my light all the way on, so I think that's probably part of the problem. But we usually don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters here because we live in a fucking hill and it's kind of steep.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that. So I think that most there's kids that live on the street, but like how much do you want to walk up the street,
Yeah.
and then back down?
It's funny, a friend of ours, she posted on her Facebook that she bought like full-size candy bars and like they got no trick-or-treaters. But I wonder if that was done on purpose.
Yeah,
I know, right? So ain't nobody come.
Yeah, nobody came last year. Why are you buying full-size candy bars? But nah, everybody knows that it's interesting because like there's certain areas everybody knows to go for trick-or-treating. Like either you think that it's safe or like they give out like
Full-size candy bar.
full-size candy bar, or they give out money, which is
Oh, yes.
crazy. But like, yeah, like I think the first year the Sweetness and I lived in our house now, we gave out candy. We bought like a fancy little Halloween bowl, put all candy in there. We're like, oh, we're gonna get a whole bunch of trick-or-treaters. We got like 2.
Yeah. And then it's like, what do you do with the candy? You know.
We ate it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
But I think back then there wasn't that many kids living on our street. Now there's like maybe, I would say there's probably like a good 10 families that have kids. So, I mean, hopefully those kids will make a route, like at least walk the neighborhood, pick up some candy before they go off and go to the people with good candy.
For sure.
Because I'm giving out raisins and toothbrush and fucking
What the
floss,
hell? Ain't nobody. Yeah, ain't nobody.
mouthwash.
A friend of mine shared a picture, and this is somebody that I know, so I know they weren't just bullshitting. But they opened up, like, they dumped out all their kids, like, because they went trick-or-treating. Dumped out all the candy, and literally there was, like a packet-sized thing of, like, dog food. I'm like, who the fuck does that? Who the fuck?
That's all bad.
Well, speaking of that, like, I know the news. The news is always talking about this shit. Like, they're always warning people, make sure to check your kids' candy. People are giving out fucking edibles. They're trying to get your kids high. Ain't nobody giving out edibles because that shit's fucking expensive. Like, that's an expensive practical joke to play on a kid. But then again, like, the people who are buying it aren't buying it to go pull a prank. They're buying it to enjoy it themselves. Like, I think there's a podcast I was listening to, but this is more on the whole poison in candy bars. Like, there's never been an incident of somebody getting sick or kids ended up in the ER because there was like something in their candy. It turns out they got into their parents' stuff, and that's what ended up in the ER. They just blame it on the candy, but like a lot of these stories aren't really true.
No,
Unless you got facts to back that up or anything.
No. Usually they're not true. The vast majority of them are not true. But the problem is that the media, every single year, they keep trying to elevate these things, like the cannabis thing and all these, like, literally, if it's weird that news outlets will first of all like elevate cases about like drug addicts, you know, and having people getting thrown in jail for being drug addicts, shit like that. But on the other hand, they'll also elevate stories of people just giving out drugs. Motherfucker, drug addicts don't give out drugs. They use those drugs.
Yeah,
Anybody that I can think of that uses any kind of drugs, like me, like, you know, I'm drinking alcohol right now. It's a drug. I'm not going to give out my drug of choice to a child because first of all it's illegal, and second of all this is my fucking beer. It's just expensive. I don't drink cheap beer. Same thing with you know, cannabis edibles. Like anybody that talks about those sorts of things, that look out for people trying to give your kids like they literally have no single clue how much edibles cost. They are not fucking cheap, especially the ones that you see that are in packages that look like they can be mistaken for kids candies. Those are the ones that are fucking crazy expensive because it has to go through a corporation and a company where they have to make some sort of overhead, you know. So it's not like you're you know, baking weed fucking brownies or some shit. It's not like that. They have to make an actual profit off of making the product, and it ejects the price, and they have to pay fucking taxes on making those products, federal and local taxes. Actually, maybe not federal, local taxes. So people they don't put their thoughts into that. They just say, oh well, it looks like, you know, it could be used to give to kids because it looks like candy. But you know what? There's a whole bunch of alcohol that looks like fucking soda, but y'all don't talk about that shit at all. Like there's a whole bunch of fucking alcohol that has, you know, candy names or that have like green apple or cherry flavor or fruit punch, shit like that. But you never ever hear the news talk about that kind of shit. Oh well, it's aimed towards children. No, it's not. It's not aimed towards children because people pretend that when you become an adult, all of a sudden you don't like sweet shit anymore. Like you're no longer gonna consume things that taste sweet or that are pleasant to your palate. Like you all think we're just gonna fucking eat fucking tofu or some shit when you hit, you know, 25. Like what the fuck is wrong with you? And they just keep perpetuating this same bullshit narrative to keep kids scared. The problem is you're these things are going to push people more towards getting illegal drugs. Like, you just made all this shit legal, at after a certain age, and talk about these things appropriately. Like, hey, yes, there are products that are drugs that, they might taste sweeter or they're like candy, but they are for adults. Instead of saying adults are giving, cannabis candies to children, because that doesn't fucking happen. Just be honest with the way that people are, the way that they're reporting things, but they're not. It's been like the past fucking, in my lifetime, it's been like every goddamn year.
I'm trying to find out the cost of infused, like at least infused gummy bears.
Well, Blue, we're a couple days out of Halloween, and we haven't done your 30 days of Halloween. We missed out because you were on the cast for a little bit. So.
Yeah, I was out sick, but then again, it kind of was an epic fail. Like,
we have a list.
Well, it's a semi list. There's like 10 on there. So I didn't get any feedback from the Discord group. So the whole purpose was to basically make a laundry list of movies to watch for Halloween, and there wasn't much participation in it.
There's still people in Halloween mode, even though some people are in Mariah Carey mode. So,
oh god. Wait, so just kind of quick sidebar. I saw this on the news. There's a bar. I can't remember where it is, but basically, you cannot play the Mariah Carey song inside that bar in the month of November, and it only can be played once a day in December. Because if you ever work retail, I don't care any retail facility you work at. If you're a barista, if you work at fucking McDonald's, you probably hear that song at least 8 goddamn times in your goddamn shift. That song is so fucking annoying. So fucking annoying. And like, I don't want to say I have PTSD, but
or PTS.
That song brings bad memories. Let me see if I pull up the Halloween list. Let's see where we were with that.
I have the list, but I have the list up.
All right, let's go over real quick. I mean,
go ahead.
Shit.
What do you want to read each other's?
I'll read the ones I selected, and we'll kind of go into why I selected it.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna go backwards with this one.
Sure.
Actually, I'm gonna start with my. So the whole premise was that everybody was supposed to choose 6 movies, because there's 5 of us on a podcast, and if you can do math, 6 times 5 is 30, and even though there's 31 days in Halloween, but hey, fuck it. Okay, so number 6 on my list was The Haunting of Hill House, which is a show on Netflix. It was really good. Like, the suspense was there. You're like, what the fuck is going on? And the whole Cricket Man story just led to like a really good fucking ending. It just all fucking rolled up into like a nice little, like, it made me think of that Dave Chappelle joke when he talks about like how he kicked her right in the pussy, and then at the end he breaks it down. Like, that's basically what the Hill House does. And I thought that was really fucking great. Number 5 I have in here is Shudder. Shudder was trippy for me just because like I do photography, but like literally this actually the original version is a Japanese movie. It's a J horror, and basically this guy's like cheating with this girl, and there's a picture, or she ends up getting murdered. So this is gonna be a huge fucking spoiler. She ended up getting murdered, and like every time the pictures
maybe don't spoil the movie that you want people to watch.
No, I'm gonna spoil it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, so the girl's murdered. I mean, this is kind of the obvious part, but the girl's murdered, and every picture you take, she's in the image, and it's like, what the fuck's going on? But at the end, it just have like some creepy ass fucking like, it ends very well. The next movie I have on here is The Orphanage. This one was a shocker for me because I wasn't expecting it to go the way it did. So I can't remember when this movie came out, but like literally this woman, this movie has it's a sad story. This woman, she lived in an orphanage with a bunch of she was like a normal little girl, but all the other orphans were like special kids. And like for some reason they all died and they end up haunting this orphanage. But when you come to the end of the movie, you find out that like they weren't really haunting the orphanage. And it's heartbreaking. Like even thinking about it right now, it's like holy shit, like I can't believe like it's a horror movie that's not a horror movie. It's really touching. It's a really touching movie. The next one is the Watcher in the Woods. This movie is made by Disney. So a horror movie made by Disney, and you can actually watch this on Disney Plus now. They just released it this year, and this is kind of why I have kind of a little bit of a phobia with mirrors. So basically, there's this girl, her spirit is trapped inside of fucking mirrors, and she's trying to get out, and she's just freaking people out with it. But yeah, it's a creepy movie. The second one I have on here is Paranormal Activity. This movie the first one, the original, the one that cost $10,000 to make, was really fucking creepy when it first came out because it was like in limited theaters. Only certain people could the theaters that aired it only showed it at midnight, and like it was like a good 2 hours long. And when I originally saw it, I had to go to Santa Cruz to watch it, and I was living in San Jose. It's like maybe a good 25-minute drive to go from Santa Cruz to San Jose. So it was probably like maybe about 3 a.m. when I got home, and that movie really fucked with my psyche. But like, what's cool is that I supported the movie. Like I was posting about it and stuff like that. So if you have the Blu-ray, if you bought or either, I think it was either Blu-ray or DVD. I can't remember what format it came out on. But at the end, everybody who supported the movie, they had your name in the end credits. And my name's in there. So if you look in alphabetical order under the B's, under the blue, I'm in there.
Oh, so did you see the multiple endings? Because the original had like 4 or 5 endings.
I've seen them all.
Yeah, I heard the rumor or the urban legend. Apparently, like different theaters had different endings.
Yes,
so
that's true.
What? I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, I heard every theater had different endings for that movie, and it's the one that I saw was where Mika gets thrown at the camera, but then there's other ones where like there's one that's like nothing happened, you see her go down the stairs. There's one where she comes up to the camera and she like bites at the camera or something like that.
Well, she kills dude, and she sniffs his body.
And then she like jumps out the screen.
Yeah, she kills him and slits her throat. The one that's probably the longest is the one where she kills her boyfriend and then comes out of her trance, freaks out. No, she freaks out. But the cops show up to the house.
Oh, yes.
So the cops show up, and then there's a door. The bathroom door slowly opens. As she's pleading with them, no, I didn't do this or whatever, the door slams. The cops freak out and they fucking they kill her. They empty the gun into her.
Like she was black.
It's all bad. And I think there's one more.
And then
I can't remember the other one.
I can't remember the last one either. But the last one on my list is The Ring, and this is I'm gonna say this one's I really became obsessed with the whole Ring universe. Like I watch all the Japanese one, I watched the American ones. Like when I went to Japan, like there's literally a moment in my life where I thought I was gonna die because. So short story. I'm gonna do a short story. So I was out drinking with some friends in Japan, and the way that the train system works in Japan. So I had to take a train into the city, and I'd take a train back. Well, after a certain time, the train went only once an hour, and I was drunk, so I forgot that to get onto the train.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah, there was a lot of sake, but the way that it works on the train is that, and it's the same for the bus. You enter from the rear, and you exit from the front. Well, I was drunk. I thought I was still in America, so I'm in the back trying to exit out of the train, and the doors weren't opening, so it passed up my stop. And so I get off on the next stop, and I'm thinking like, oh, it's just one fucking stop. I can walk. Well, the area I was in was like kind of old school Japan, and I was drunk, and The Ring had came out like that year, so like my imagination was playing fucking tricks with me. But luckily, like I actually got fucking lost. I got lost, and I found train tracks. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk these train tracks, hoping that these train tracks gonna lead me back where I need to be. But it actually led me back to where I got off the train. I don't think we get back. But yeah, just the whole Ring universe, I just always thought it was really interesting. And like, there's also another story where I fell asleep with the TV on. And I'm pretty sure people have had that happen to them before, but like I was dreaming that like Samira was coming after me, and like I wake up to the fucking trailer for The Ring on my goddamn TV, and I was probably pissed white because cause in the trailer there's a scene where she's like coming out of the well, and like,
is piss really white?
yeah, right? What the hell? This is clear at some point.
If you drink enough water, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but like, yeah,
it should
I like.
be white. If it's white, it's probably cum. I'm just saying.
Oh,
Y'all
yeah,
have a weird
right.
thing with colors.
Or gonorrhea.
Oh, I thought gonorrhea is yellow.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I like woke up and that scene from the tape was on, and like I was really freaking out. But yeah, that's my number one. What's yours? Oh, Ninja.
So starting with number 6, the 1982 version of Poltergeist, because I saw it when I was kind of young. So it's fucked up because this movie's rated PG, and it does not look like a PG movie. They had some really crazy effects, and funny enough, this one has what used to be super famous, the TV like scenario where, like, for you young kids, late at night, programming end at a certain time. And when the programming end, it would go to white snow for literally like 4 to 5 hours.
But at that, like, they would play like the national anthem or something.
They would play the national anthem first, and then it would go to white snow. And then sometimes you would get the color spectrum and the long beep, but usually it'd just be white snow because they're off the air. And this movie features that a lot. Like when they're in the white snow stuff, you know, entities would be talking through it and stuff, and it had some really fucked up effects, especially like one of the clown sequence, which I know I'm not afraid of clowns, but I know a lot of people were freaked out by it. I used to have a tree in my backyard growing up. There's a scene where the tree like tries to eat the sun, and when he comes out, he's like covered in blood and shit. I'm like, what the fuck? There's a scene where a guy peels his face off. It has like a lot of fucked up shit for a PG movie. I mean, nowadays the effects may or may not stand out for you. It may seem a little cartoony, but the overall story of the film is actually really good, and it's still pretty fucked up, and it still holds up. I didn't watch the remake. I heard the remake was shit. So
yeah, I mean, honestly, so I just I mentioned it in the comments of the chat because Warrior Fellow was asking, you know, about this particular thing, and I was like, you know, I'm not into horror movies, you know, I'm not, but I used to kind of be, and I remember I watched Poltergeist, and Poltergeist was actually, it was back then when I was a kid, because it came out in like the 80s, yeah, like the late 80s, right?
2.
Yeah, 82, you said?
Yes,
oh,
1982.
Shit, Jesus Christ. Well, I definitely remember watching it, but not at 3 years old. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
They do it, yeah, with like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I remember watching these, but I'm pretty sure I wasn't at the age that they came out. Because I probably watched them on like HBO, or like somebody had like a VHS of it. For everybody that's younger, that means video home system, I believe.
Yeah, I believe, yes. I think you're right. Yeah, it's also kind of because the film is notorious for having like an urban legend surrounding it. Because like the main star, the young girl, like Carrie Ann, she died, and like there's accidents to some of the other people on the film. The older daughter got caught up in some weird kidnapping and
then like the
situation or whatnot. So
the old guy, the old like preacher guy, whatever, he died from cancer. Like he only did that movie, and then all of a sudden, like he died.
I don't think there's a preacher in the first one. I think he's in the second and third one.
Was he in the second one?
Yeah,
Okay, maybe
there's a preacher one, but I mean, there's a lot of you can look it up, but there's a lot of urban legend stuff about this movie. The movie came out kind of messed up. I mean, not messed up, but it messed me up a little bit because I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" And I've seen it multiple times, which is even more fucked up.
Yeah, I watched it more than a few times. And yeah, especially when you're young, like it's all fucked up. You're gonna get scared, then you're gonna get fucking sucked in the goddamn TV, and then
or get eaten by a tree, or get choked out by a fucking clown,
or being having your house built on some fucking native burial ground.
Oh my god! Yeah, the movie's fucked up, and it's still. I mean, there's a legit story with this.
Oh, you're breaking.
5% of the horror movies that have been made since. My number 5 was the 1984 version of Nightmare on Elm Street. Even though I saw this,
it's on HBO Max now.
Yeah, but I saw this out of order. Like my first Nightmare on Elm Street film I saw was part 3. Then I saw part 2, then 1, then 4. But the first one to me was like way more compelling because it shows the impediments Freddy Krueger as like a boogeyman, like a legit boogeyman. Like for most of the film, you don't see his face. You only see like slight like shadowing and like small lights on him. He had that fucked up ass voice, and he was just murdering people like in a super fucked up way. I mean, imagine getting killed by your waterbed. Like what the fuck? Like in the film, the movie sucks up Johnny Depp and then spits him out all over his fucking ceiling. It's pretty disgusting as far, but
it's funny. You said imagine getting killed by your waterbeds. I'm looking up that waterbed deaths. Pretty sure it's happened. And yes, there was at least 6 to 8 people that have died from the waterbeds.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I had a waterbed growing up.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucked up film. It solidifies to the boogeyman in your dreams. More than that.
Holy shit.
Have a lot of people drowned in their waterbeds?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's a lot of water. But I mean, getting shat out where you're just all blood. Yeah. It's a classic film. It holds up to this day.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like I watched. So when they did the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, they made Freddy a fucking pedophile, and I was like, dude, Freddy wasn't a pedophile. Freddy was just a fucking serial killer. Like,
yeah, he was a child murderer, but he wasn't raping kids.
Yeah, he wasn't touching kids inappropriately. But I remember on the podcast we were talking about like, so I guess murder is better than like touching kids.
Pedophilia? I don't know, dude. They're both kind of bad.
No, I think as a society we have. So when we talk about murder, right away when you talk about murder, I'm fairly certain everybody's first thoughts are an adult killing an adult, right? Mm-hmm. That's what you go to. So there's already some sort of like semi-level playing field because it's an adult killing an adult. But when you talk about like pedophilia, it's a an adult taking advantage of a child, and so I think there's like a moral boundary that is seriously crossed. When you talk about an adult doing anything non-consensual to a child. So I think that's the main thing when we talk about, is murder worse or better than pedophilia? So that, to me anyway, that's where the line is drawn. Is because adult to adult, there's at least some sort of level there, but adult with a child, there's no level. Like obviously there's an offset. So
yeah,
my thoughts.
Yeah, I think it's a weird thing. Like
yeah, I'm trying to compare like evil vices to each other, or just evil atrocities from one human to another, but still, they're both foul in my book.
They are. But one though is obviously with our society, one is more foul than others.
So wait. So quick little thing. If you were to die in a waterbed, it's considered a wet dream.
Or I saw bed entrapment. There, I was just like, that is a fucked up way to on your death. You got trapped in your bed? How the fuck did that?
How the fuck did that happen?
Yeah. It's like a 1,000 ways to die, and it's like a wet dream is 331 on that list.
Wow. Moving on, number 4 on my list is Audition. It's a Japanese horror film. It's pretty weird because I heard a lot of people talking about it. I didn't know what to expect, and I was watching it with my cousin. It starts out like this weird like online dating site, and this chick who's like super weird. She's like very kind of not aloof, but she's very like withdrawn, but she's really attached to the guy that she meets, and then the guy finds out what she did to her ex-boyfriend, tries to leave her, and then holy shit, she fucks this dude up in this really weird sadomasochistic torture scene that lasts, it feels like forever, but it's very, very hard to watch. And I'm just like, holy shit, this is one of those movies like you can't go to sleep right after watching this because you'll definitely have some kind of nightmare or whatnot. It was a fucked up thing just watching this poor guy getting tortured by this woman who didn't want him to leave her. It was fucked up.
Is this part of the I can't remember what it's called, but it's part of like a trilogy. Like there's it's Old Boy, Miss something, and I think Audition's on this list.
I don't think it's an official trilogy, like an official trilogy. I think people are trying to say that it fits into the world because like I think some of the actors are still in the same film, but they're not. I don't think they're fully connected.
It's called the Vintage Trilogy. So it's let me look it up. It is Mr. Vengeance, Mrs. Vengeance, and then it's Oh Boy. It's on that list.
I haven't seen the other two, but I've seen the original Old Boy. I've seen the original Old Boy, but not the two Vengeance films.
No, I haven't seen a Vintage film either. I
haven't seen Spike Lee's Old Boy either. So
yeah, the Japanese version is fucking twisted.
Yeah, Audition was like one of those first movies on Netflix, like the first 10 movies on Netflix I watched, and it was getting a lot of buzz, so I checked it out. And this one is one of those movies that kind of stays with you when you're done. I'm just like, oh, I gotta watch like My Little Pony and fucking Care Bears after this. My number 3 is the movie The Thing. The Thing is like super fucking creepy. This is like an old, like early 80s, late 70s movie, and it's like weird because like the creature effects are very, 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 very good, and they still kind of hold up. And it's like you don't know who to trust in this film. Anyone could be anything. When you see people die, it does these weird amalgamations of the human body. It literally turns limbs into creatures, and it's a fucked up ass thing because like you're trapped in a blizzard in like Antarctica or the Arctic, and you're trapped in this like facility that's like breaking down, and there's nowhere to go. And like John Carpenter, he did this remake, and it's really well done. I know they've been trying to do sequels. They don't. I mean, the prequel sequel doesn't really live up to the original. This is another movie that kind of stays with you, especially like when you see a grown man's head turn into a spider and run away. You'll probably have nightmares from just watching just that scene. There's other atrocities that they do to the human body that will probably fuck you up. It's really good, even though I highly recommend it. I've seen this movie a bunch of times as well. I guess the only official sequel is the PC game called The Thing. I actually have it. I haven't beat it yet, but apparently that's the sanctioned sequel. I guess John Carpenter put off his official seal. I actually have it around here somewhere. So maybe one day I'll be able to try to twitch it out or something.
Quick look. I looked at the IMDb reviews for The Thing, and it's got a solid 5 stars with 10,000 plus reviews, which is, I don't know, it's hard to find a product on Amazon with that rating.
Yeah, I mean, this movie's held up. This is a timeless film. Like, what's happening in the Arctic is still kind of like there. Like, nobody really lives there. People just visit. Mostly it's scientists that are there, and that's what's there in the film. Scientists trying to do a study, and all of a sudden they come across some kind of otherworldly creature that begins to mimic them and then slowly take them apart. It's pretty fucked up.
It's pretty cool. So the director is John Carpenter.
That's right.
He's got a really good laundry list of movies. So he did like, Big Trouble in China,
the original Halloween,
Christine, which is the one with the fucking killer car. One of my favorites. They Live with fucking Roddy Piper.
And Forget Escape from New York.
Quarantine. Like he's got. I mean, we are Johnny. He even does funny like stuff too. Like he did The Breakup, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, correct. He's also an accomplished like musician, and he did the original soundtrack to Halloween. That theme is by him.
He
So
did the
very
Lost Boys,
talented.
and it's pretty interesting. So if you listen to the audiobooks or if you read the audiobooks for Ready Player One, he's mentioned in there.
Of course, because he's a phenomenal director and pop culture icon, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then number two is The Ring, the American version, because I've never seen the Japanese version of The Ring. The American version of The Ring really fucked with me because I hadn't seen a movie in like quite some time, especially a horror movie at that time. And when I watched it, I was like, fuck, this is another movie that involves the television where shit from the TV comes out at you. And I'm just like, well, what does this shit fucking happens? Like, what if you play an old VHS tape it's a snuff film and it turns out to be a film that can actually kill you? Like, you get a phone call, says 7 days, and then you have 7 days before you die, and there's a bunch of fucking shit that happens to you.
If I got a phone call that said 7 days, I'd be like, yeah, that's next week. Click.
Yeah, this was probably the last horror movie that really fucked with me because when I came home after watching it from the theater, I turned on all the lights,
Yeah.
made sure like
I thought I was for Paranormal Activity because I live by myself.
Pony and Care Bears and Rainbow Bright after and whatever, maybe some Bratz or something for like a while before I could go to bed. This movie kind of fucked me up, and I think mostly because of Naomi Watts' portrayal in the film. It was done really well. I like this version of the film, even though I've never seen the Japanese one. I have no idea how it holds up.
Oh, dude, it's their day and night. It's totally different. But wait, sorry to jump in real quick. So, kind of jump back to my story in Japan. It wasn't The Ring that fucked me up. It was The Grudge, because The Grudge take place in Japan, and I was like, the American version of The Grudge took place in Japan, and like the houses, like all the houses in the area at the time looked like the one from The Grudge. All right, sorry, go ahead, man.
All right, so my number one is a film. It's not really a horror movie. It's more classified as a monster film.
Don't go in the water.
This movie really fucked me up even to this day. That's Jaws, the original theatrical movie of Jaws, the fucking giant, fucking 20-foot long great white shark. Fucking creeped out over fucking sharks. I've seen a dead great white and it still creeped me out. I was learning recently, I mean, where we live, there's been a lot more sightings of great whites, especially in the Santa Cruz area. There's been people on Instagram that have been showing great whites that have washed up on shore. Usually they've died because they couldn't get back in the water, but they still look monstrous. I know they're supposed to be, creatures of the deep that are supposed to be, part of the ecosystem. They're supposed to be apex predators or whatever, but that doesn't stop them from creeping me the fuck out, not being cautious when going into the ocean, because I usually don't wade very far. I definitely don't like fucking swim out past like where the waves break or whatnot, especially since there's been an increase in great whites in our area. Like, this movie fucked me up, especially with sharks. I mean, even though I saw the film, I started researching sharks really, really, really heavily. I could probably name a bunch of them by looking at their rows of teeth, or the size, or like I could tell a tiger shark from a blue, from a basking shark, from the tiger. The thresher shark, which is like a freshwater as well as seawater shark, which is very few. Usually most sharks die in freshwater, but that shark ends up like laying its eggs in freshwater, but shit like that. But still, great whites still creep me out, even though I still watch, documentaries on them. Even on National Geographic on Disney Plus, you can watch the one with Chris Hemsworth, where his friend almost got fucking chewed up by a great white.
So wait, did you ever play Maneater?
No, I'm not playing Maneater.
I didn't play DLC.
You gotta play Maneater.
Yeah, that's a great
game. Yeah.
The DLC.
Wait, did it drop yet?
Yeah, it already dropped.
Oh shit, I gotta go play it,
yeah,
man.
you need to play it. But Maneater is like one of my favorite games because it's so ridiculous.
That's an indie game too.
Yeah.
Do y'all remember Echo the Dolphin?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Sega.
Yeah, because like Yeah, so in Echo you have to fight like I think a shark in one of the levels because I didn't get very far because the game was kind of fucking hard, but it was
Yeah, it was
super
hard.
popular. But there's one where you gotta like go up against a great white and it's pretty tough. But that freaks me out too. But yeah,
I
that's
I
my
think
that's my top 6.
cool. I like it.
All right,
I love the backstory of it all.
let's wrap it up because I think tonight I'm gonna try to do a video showing how I edit the audio and the video and get them out on the same night. So
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
that's
I
great.
want some time to do that.
Really quick before we move on, Kronus, you're talking to Warrior Fella about Freaky, the latest like kind of horror comedy that came out last year. I've seen it.
That's
I'm gonna
funny.
say this. I'm gonna say this. There's kind of a what's it? What's that shit that like one of the Black Mirror episode that we kept talking about a lot, Striking Vipers. There's kind of like a Striking Vipers like incident in the movie. It's pretty funny.
Alright.
But
Might check it out.
just to, yeah, just to just to let you know. But I mean, I still think it was a great film because it's a pretty good horror comedy.
So
It's a nice little
two dudes are fucking definitely in the show. Okay, that's where we're going with this. Apparently,
you have to watch the film to see what happens.
I don't, but okay.
Well, to
All
see
right.
what happens, you don't have to watch the book. But...
All right, Cross, what you got populating this weekend until the next podcast?
Honestly,
What's happening past?
what's popping right now is that I'm realizing that since I have ended my sobriety, that my stress levels have skyrocketed, according to my Garmin watch thing. So, yeah, I'm going to pay more attention to my alcohol consumption and try and find a happy medium. I already understand that because, I went off caffeine and everything for Sober October. The first day I actually started using caffeine again, I immediately PR, which is personal record for my Peloton bike. Like I beat my old record by at least 10 watts or something like that, and which is significant because I push it hard for my body on the bike, and so I need to better recognize and appreciate what drugs of any kind do to my body. So. Maybe going forward, I might drink less or just be more aware of how much it affects my body. So we'll see how it's gonna work out going forward. But that was definitely a thing. I was looking at my body battery, which is a thing on Garmin where it tells you what your general energy level should be throughout the day, and then my stress levels, those have gone up by a significant amount over just the past 3 days, just from drinking and having caffeine again. So yeah, this is just a personal story that I'm saying for everybody else out there, consume it as you will. Drugs affect your body. So I think that people should be more aware of how they affect your body, and are you comfortable in the way that they affect your body. Me right now, I don't know if I'm comfortable with the way that they affect my body. So we'll see where I'm going to go with that going forward. I love drinking. I like other things as well, like caffeine and things between the lines. But yeah, I think I should just be more aware of how they affect my body going forward. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing my brother later on this month. Same thing with Prodigy. We're probably gonna do a podcast. Actually, no. Actually, yeah, maybe yes. Me and Prodigy will do a podcast later on this month. Because I'm going down in the San Diego area for Thanksgiving. I'm leaving on Wednesday, so we're probably not going to have a podcast on that Wednesday. We'll have to figure it out. I'll be remote again, but I'll just be in a different area. But if we get to see them again, yeah, I'm looking forward to that shit. And he's going to have, Prodigy might have maybe have an announcement on his next podcast. I hope he does. And then we'll have to have a conversation live about his announcement. So
my intro was going to be a whole lot different if Prodigy was on this podcast, but I get saved for next week.
Yeah. I'm happy, but also I'm going to be kind of an outcast, I guess.
No, but still old ninja. No.
Well, but old ninja's not. Well, we'll talk about it when when party decides to talk about it. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oninja, what you got? Populating, crackulating, bababooing this week, or what do you want to talk about last week? What's on your mind?
Uh,
What's on your mind,
so
dog? Let me know.
really quick, the movie Jaws is PG.
Is it really? Oh shit!
That's old
Jaws
school
is
PG.
PG.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaws is
Hella blood.
PG, and all three of its sequels are PG. Oh no, I'm sorry. Jaws: The Revenge is PG-13. All the other ones are PG. Holy shit! What a time to fuck people up. So I'm not doing a whole lot. I started watching Star Trek Prodigy, and only one episode's been out. I wanted to talk about it this week, but I'm gonna wait
I gotta check it
until
out. Yeah, I'll watch it.
I'm gonna watch the second episode to get a better feel of it. Right now, I'm liking it so far. Right now, even though it's supposed to be like a Nick Jr. or a Nickelodeon type show, but it doesn't feel like it. So, but I want to watch more. I didn't get a chance to talk about Young Justice because I'm watching that right now, season
Same
4.
here.
So me and Blue will probably talk about it next week because there's some. I don't know if you watched the most current episode, Blue.
I the last one I saw was I saw it like last week. So if there's one that dropped between like last podcast and today's podcast, I haven't seen it yet.
No, there's the new one drops tonight at like midnight.
When did they drop? Oh, okay. I was gonna
They
say,
drop
when did they
every
drop? 'Cause
Thursday. Every Thursday. Every Thursday is a new
Okay.
episode.
Yeah, because like the previous seasons, it's been like a smorgasbord. You can binge watch them, but like, I think this season
No, yeah, they're doing one at a
they're every
time.
week.
Yeah, so two, then one, then two. It was super weird. This one they're doing like one a week. So I'm checking out. So Star Trek Prodigy season 4 of Young Justice. Been trying to get Prodigy and actually the rest of you guys to get Back for Blood because it's a spectacular game. It's a lot of fun. I'm still playing it. I haven't even beat the game because I keep going back and helping people who just got the game, going back to the beginning, helping them because it helps me out because I get stuff. I get to get like unlocks and shit. So it's been
Wait, is it
fun.
on Xbox?
It's a cross-platform game, so it doesn't matter what you get
Okay.
on.
So
So
I don't have a Xbox. I can't play it.
no, you can play it. You can play it on any platform except for the Switch.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I've been playing. Oh, I went back to No Man's Sky because they have an expedition. There's still 4 weeks left to finish it if you haven't had a chance. But I've been going back and kind of working on my original save for the game. There's a lot of changes. It's a lot cleaner. It feels like a more complete game after like its initial release, even though it took them a couple of years. But it's still fun. It's still great. Unlike Anthem, they dropped the ball on that and never came back to it. But at least with No Man's Sky, they keep adding stuff to it. I just built my first mech yesterday, so I have a fucking mech in the game just running through. It's pretty awesome. I'm reading my Star Wars books. I'm trying to finish them. I'm close to finishing my last one before the new books drop early next year. I think the first new set of books is in January. So I'm reading one of the High Republic books, one of the last ones in order. So that's been kind of about it.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Speaking of books, so I finally finished listening to Sandman Act 1.
Great book.
Goddamn. It's the production value on that book. I talked about it last podcast, but the production value on that book is top notch. Like, holy shit. I never felt like I was listening to a book. I felt like I was listening to a fucking movie, basically. Or not a movie, more of a more of a TV series, because there's different acts, there's different stories going around. It's not like a continuous movie going on, but everything kind of fucking ties together, and it all kind of makes sense at the end.
So I know that Kronus listened to this, and you're listening to this, but this is the only, or one of the very, very, very few audiobooks that I actually saw a TV commercial for. They had this on like ESPN and a couple other stations about the Audible, the Sandman coming in, and like the new chapter. I was like, what the fuck about this? They put in money for this shit.
Yeah, I've seen that commercial.
There's only one other one that I can think of, and it was another fantastic audiobook was the Stanley Trick of Lights, I think it was called.
Oh, that's the one we saw. We saw the beginning at WonderCon.
Yeah,
we did that little maze. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a really good book as well.
Okay.
But yeah, so I just purchased book 2 or act 2. So I'm gonna have you finished act 2 yet?
Of course.
Okay, yeah. So I'm starting to listen to act 2, and I don't know, just Sandman. I like the whole like lore that like there's these what are they called, like deathless people. Like the Sandman is like people who live on forever, and they're just out there like doing their job, and like their whole purpose for living is to be there for humanity. But then there's like the other ones that are like, oh, humanities are fucking. It's almost like gods that just think they're better than everybody else. But it turns out like, yeah, you need me more than I need you, basically. But it's just a fun story, and like I like the little because it's made by DC. So there's like they talk about like Superman and like John Jones is in it. Constantine makes an appearance. He makes a quick reference to like Swamp Thing, which is kind of funny. But I don't know. Overall, it was a pretty good series. But and at first I was like, okay, this is kind of going here and there. But then at the end, it all kind of fucking tied together. But I thought it was cool. I'm still playing Kona.
Kana?
Kana.
Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah, I haven't played it in a couple of days. I can't remember how to pronounce the name. But yeah, I want to continue playing that. But one of the big things I'm trying to get back into cycling, like bike riding, and I started. So there's this company called Swift with a Z.
Yeah,
And
ZWIFT, right? Something like that.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool. They basically make a game that you can hook up like your bike's power meters and stuff too, so you can like actually pedal in a virtual world.
Well, Blue, do you have a power meter for your bike?
I have a speed sensor and a cadence meter on there, and also a heart monitor.
But no, that's okay. So no power meter yet. So
No, I don't have a power meter. That shit's expensive for one of those.
If you want to get into the power meter thing, just buy. You can get ones that are just like on one pedal. That makes it more reasonable.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So I could have went that route, but I basically bought them all separate. But it's all by the same company that I purchased it from. So it still does everything except the power meters are all an all-in-one type of deal.
No, that's all good. I mean, like, because for me, obviously, the Peloton bike has a power meter, and like, when you do like power zone training, it's like super important. When I'm gonna buy a bike, hopefully early next year, and I need a power meter on the bike. So I need to know like where my how much output I should be putting out. So
yeah, like what's kind of cool is that the Swift, they like take everything together and they'll give you like your wattage and all this different thing. But the whole cool thing about it is that like you're able to paddle in a virtual world. And right now I'm still trying to dial it in because I feel like I'm, because usually I can do about 12 miles an hour, but in the game I can do like, I don't know, maybe 8 miles in an hour, which isn't that great considering, like, I don't know, I used to do it a lot when I was like a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
but I show real quick. So I have my bike and stuff here.
You should probably be able to do way more than that. So when you're on a physical bike, there's resistance from the air. So if you're a trainer, you should be able to put out way more wattage.
Well, so I'm not a trainer. I'm actually I'm on a roller.
Yeah, but the roller it's a trainer. It's
yeah, but so it's really I don't like the whole physics with the roller is just fucking mind-boggling, because how can you ride a bike stationary and still stay upright? I mean, I know there's like inertia and stuff like that. That's like the reason why you stay upright. But like, just look, if you walked in and saw somebody riding a bike, like, how that guy fucking standing up, like, and not moving anywhere. But I mean, overall, so far, like, I mean, the demo, like, I have a 30-day demo, and it was fun today. Like, I got 2 miles in a whole 15 minutes. But what's cool is that you can like ride with friends, you can chat with people. It's basically a virtual chat room of people who either ride or run. I think you can also run in it, but I don't know. It was actually a pretty cool experience. Like the scenery was really cool. So as your character's riding, like, you know, there's like different things around. So I think one of the things that's interesting is that the reason why I see like a difference between like what I think I'm paddling versus their virtual world is that the virtual world kind of compensates. So even though I'm riding on a flat surface, if I'm going uphill, it kind of compensates for my speed. So even though I could be going like 11 miles an hour, since I'm going uphill, it's more like I'm going like it's taking my energy that I'm putting into moving and converting that into like a slower speed that I would be going if I was going uphill. But if I'm going downhill, it's a different story.
Yeah, I think it's a problem with the roller style of trainer that you're using, and they don't have a power meter, so they can't accurately calculate what you're doing. So when you're on like a roller like that, you can't, well, unless you like drop gears, right? Even if you drop gears to like something that's lower, so it's way harder to pedal.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to like simulate that because you don't have an accurate power meter to tell you how much actual effort you're putting in. So
right.
if you invest in a power meter, I think that you would have a better time. Obviously,
so like
I know it's an investment. So
yeah, so there's a company called Wahoo, and they make a setup that's like, I don't know, you can spend basically $4,000 on it, and you can take basically
take the back tire off and fucking put the chain. Yeah.
Well, it's it's not even that. You take the back tire off, but there's also one for the front tire.
Yeah.
And it basically like will like elevate the front tire, so like if you're going up a hill, so you get that whole fucking sensation. It's like, that's just fucking crazy. But outside of that, just little Sebi, he's slowly getting bigger. He'd be 8 months this month, and it's like it's crazy. Like he's getting a personality, which is really interesting, and like the fact that like he can he understands his name. Like the food that he eats, like if he doesn't like something, if he's eating something that he doesn't like, he will like just toss a fucking spoon, like okay, kid, I guess you don't like this. Let's continue eating the other food that you do like. But I don't know, it's just a lot of fun watching this little kid grow up.
Yeah.
And I'm loving every fucking second of it.
I'm glad
and
to
with
see
that,
you being a dad, man.
Dude, I don't know, it's great, and it's one funny thing is that he's kind of like outgrowing clothes, and we'll buy new clothes like the next size up, and it's like there's no way this is gonna fit him. Like this is for like a goddamn toddler, and we come home, put it on him, and it fits perfectly. It's like, oh shit.
Awesome.
But yeah, okay. With that being said, Ninja, take us out of here.
Oh, real quick, IGN is reporting that Alvin and the Chipmunks rights are on sale for $300 million.
Yeah.
So if you got some cheddar, pick them up. But we all know. Yeah. They're gonna end up. Disney's probably gonna fucking buy them.
Sure. Yeah, they probably will. For $1 million, probably real cheap.
Maybe they'll negotiate. All right. You just experienced Black and the Black times Infinity. The dankest podcast in the multiverse. Check us out.
You didn't broke up there, man.
Yeah, because something just popped up.
It's a porn.
Anyway, it's about my car worker. Check us out with Be the BTI anywhere and everywhere online. That's BTHANBTI. You can email us at bethenbti@gmail.com. We have a Discord. You can let us know you want to join by email us and give us a shout out. Check out our official website, benheadproductions.com/bethenbti.
Has succeeded in penetrating further and further.
All right.
Into the
okay.
We're out this bitch.
Peace.
Many questions remain
Deuces.
unanswered.